The first story is what just happened, the tragic event that took place to the two National Guard members, which this story here says are in critical condition after Washington, D.C. shooting. Well, unfortunately, both were shot in the head by an Afghani national, Rahmanullah Lakanwal, who came here in 2021, was a CIA trained in Afghanistan. Prior to that, he puts 2 bullets in a National Guard's head. One of them dies. She's no longer with us, which we will recognize him here in a minute after President Trump's video. And the other one is in critical condition. And when he shot them, he screamed, Allahu Akbar. Here's President Trump reacting to it. Go for it, Rob.
I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023.
Jeez.
Outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. This just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us. Incredible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. That's horrible.
Okay, Tom, thoughts on the story here of what happened, this tragic story?
So I'm going to go a little bit deeper. First of all, we're with you. We have parents that are so proud to see their daughter take the oath, join the National Guard, is on a patrol in Washington, D.C. And you have to remember what they were doing in Washington, D.C. first. They were on patrol there making a city safe, serving fellow citizens, making a city safe. And by all accounts, you had a city that was completely different for the average citizen that was there. And you had the mayor and other people having to admit it, not being covered in media, but having to admit it. And she goes out there to serve, and it's her first day of service. She gets paired up because you have the patrols with the buddy system, and out there patrolling, just trying to keep it safe. And this trained individual with military training comes up and does execution-style hit on both of them. And it's horrifying. So my first thoughts is with parents that were so proud on 1 minute, but they're now thrust in the middle of national headlines and grieving the loss of their daughter. Now I get to what happened. I am really worried that we are in the early innings of a color revolution. I am really worried that this could be a false flag operation, that this guy was used by the intelligence community. I'm worried. Do I have facts? No. Do I have documents? No. But I am really worried when I see things like this that are designed to incent us to get up there. And when I look at color revolutions and false flags, they talk about delegitimizing leadership. Check, they're after Trump. They talk about making illegitimate, which is actually normal governance. Check. They talk about, cause the military to defect and get a small sect of the military willing to go against the leadership. Check. The seditious six, it's a playbook, and trigger defections within those groups. Check. So I see all this stuff, and you may say, hey, Tom, you're seeing shadows in the distance. I don't think so. I really worry that there's a color revolution going on. I worry that there's something going on and that this could be a false flag op that's part of it, because false flags are designed to get the public really angry about something so that they are okay with the steps that happen next. And this kind of scares me. I'm not alone. General Michael Flynn wrote a very long piece on it that says, Mr. President, things could be happening out here. And nobody is talking about General Michael Flynn being like the conspiracy of the week guy. He's not. And he's out there talking about, we got to be careful about this stuff and see what's really going on. But I'm really concerned that the news media...
Very interesting angle you're taking, Tom.
News media is more worried about whose
angle.
fault is it for the immigration than what's behind it.
Very, very interesting. So, Vinny, I'll come to you. What do we know about the individual that killed one of these National Guards and shot the other one in the head?
So this shooter, Rahmallah, I don't even want to say, I can care less. He was a CIA-backed Kandahar Strike Force vet. Per leaked ID, and Ratcliffe, who's the director of the CIA, I believe, in a Fox interview confirmed that he had, and I quote, ties to the CIA as part of a partner force in Kandahar. Okay, so We know who this guy was, Pat. And again, going to Tom's point, God rest her soul. Can you imagine? Everybody was with their family. Everybody was hanging out. Imagine that family's Thanksgiving. Take a second and just stop and imagine that. You're prepping for Thanksgiving. Everything's happening. And then that happens. Are you going to have a regular Thanksgiving dinner? Are you guys all going to be having fun? No, because they have to do burial plans and funeral plans for this girl. So God rest her soul. Pat, I'm going to go. I love where you went, Tommy. I'm going to take another even step back. How is this guy here? And let's talk about that. All this, besides the fact that she was doing her job, and the crime is significantly down, and the people of Washington actually like it. This was all a plan, tactical invasion from Alejandro Mayorcas and the Biden administration, okay? Besides the open border, let's take that and put that to the side. How horrible was the Afghani withdrawal? Take a second and think about that, okay? That was the way of Biden's first. At least he stopped the war. Did you guys see the videos of the worst withdrawal ever? And 60,000 of these people. Pat, Rob, can you show the photo I sent you on Slack of that plane? But guys, remember when the plane was taking off, Pat? People are running by that C-130 and people were hanging on and jumping off and dying, okay? That's it. This is Trump's tweet. This is part of a horrendous airlift from Afghanistan. Hundreds of thousands of people poured into the country, totally unvetted and unchecked. We will fix it, but we'll never forget what crooked Joe Biden and these thugs did to our country. And if you guys think about this, we bombed the hell out of a country, okay? Then you're going to let...
Who the hell hires like that? Who recruits like that? Who hired? Always bring it down to the most simplest concept. What company, if you ever started, would you just say, here, hire those 600 people, don't vet them, don't interview them, don't call references? Common sense. So if anybody watches and says, what's wrong with that? These guys are fighting for their lives. Would you hire like that? Would you hire like that without running references, without running background checks, without running credit reports, without seeing their resumes, without having them being interviewed by 2 or 3 people? Would you do that? That's what America did under Biden. That means we hired these people without any references to come here. And there may be your neighbors living right next to you. Vinny, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No,
but to me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Pat, no, it's not interruption. That's called, you piggyback, and that's exactly it. Well, you bombed the hell out of them for their poppy fields and Al-Qaeda and all that stuff. How pissed off do you think, if you let 60,000 in, what would you say? 25% are like F America? And by the way, they did it on purpose, Pat. I'm telling you right now, there's no other explanation for why the border was wide open and why would you let them in unless you wanted them to do exactly what the hell this piece of you-know-what did. You give them all cell phones and you go, hey, listen, go, welcome to America, and just wait. If we need you, we'll call you. And the moment this happened, Tom, I want to go by the numbers. I went, where's George Soros? Is Soros linked to this? And automatically, George Soros linked NGO, World Relief is the name of it, funded the settlement of the National Guard shooter, that Ramadan, whatever the hell his name is, in Washington State from Afghanistan. World Relief has received U.S. taxpayer dollars through USAID. Okay, I knew he was going to be tied to it at some point. But let's just go back to the withdrawal. They were so proud. They wanted a headline. They rushed a country that 20 years we've been bombing them and killing their people. They left $85 billion worth of gear left in the hands of the Taliban. 75,000 vehicles, trucks, armored units, 600,000 weapons, more than 200 aircraft, night vision, drones, radios, that we armed the Taliban, and then you let this guy come in, and he has ties with the CIA, and he does this type of...
Can I add one thing right in there and then finish what you're saying?
Ahead.
I'm not interrupting, I'm adding
go.
something. Would the CIA or the intelligence community been able to send that kind of military equipment over to them if they tried to get it through Congress and appropriations?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
so get what? I've got an idea. Let's push all the military to withdraw and just leave it there.
Yeah, and give them.
You got your stuff.
Yeah, and give them the weapons. So enough of this. Pat said a good thing is this suicidal empathy. This bring them in love. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. We cannot do this crap. You can't. We can't survive. And Trump just paused. I believe Trump just paused. On Thursday, he said he would suspend migration from what he called third world countries because, guys, and I'm sorry about your sadness. You know that saying, a few bad apples ruin the bunch? It's over, okay? Too bad. I'm sorry. The damage is done. 20,000 People are here. We don't know. And then I know, Pat, we're going to get to the videos. When Alejandro Mayorkas was in, and I sat in this chair, and I told you guys with that stupid look he had, it was a purposeful invasion, and nobody said shit. And the majority of the Democrats were like, they kept quoting the Statue of Liberty. Bring them in, bring them in. Well, guess what? Now they're walking up to freaking American soldiers and shooting them in the head.
I'll give you two. Watch. The Dems wanted to bring in votes because they think they're just bringing in refugees that are going to be turned into voters.
Yeah.
The Dems think, oh, they're just refugees, right?
Yeah.
And the intelligence community says, you know what? We can hide right in the middle of this.
Damn
We will be the intelligence community is sending in the raisins in the muffin. The muffin is all the voters that the Dems are trying to bring in through this kind of invasion immigration. They don't think and there are Dems that honestly do not believe they're bringing in bad people. They honestly believe that we're just bringing in refugees.
Yeah.
The intelligence community hides in the middle and says, guess what? In the middle of that shit, you know what we can do? We can hide our guys.
Of course, of course.
Rob, I want you to play this clip, and then Adam, I'm coming to you. So here's a president snaps at an individual,
I love it,
asking him a question, and says, "Are you a stupid person?" Watch this. Go ahead.
Reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid
Yeah.
person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in.
Just reported this
Boom.
Okay, so that's his reaction.
pissed.
You can tell.
He's pissed.
And by the way, when was this? This was
yesterday,
yesterday.
sir.
By the way, on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving.
He's working. On Thanksgiving, he's working and taking press conference, not just pardoning the turkey, not just doing the camera type of stuff that's kissing babies. He's sitting there answering questions with the crisis that's taking place. Imagine how he's feeling right now. Adam, your thoughts?
Yeah. I'll tell you why this situation is just so unsettling. Despite the fact that it happened on Thanksgiving, I totally understand why Trump is so pissed. I'll tell you why this is so unsettling. Because this isn't just another shooting. It's almost like a combination of every issue we face as a country, culminating into one tragedy 2 blocks from the White House on Thanksgiving. So let me count the ways real quick. So this is evidence of a broken immigration and vetting system, domestic terrorism, open borders, lone wolf domestic terrorism at that, Islamic terrorism, aka jihad, as he yells Allah Akbar as he offs 2 National Guardsmen. Let me count the ways continue. Mental health crisis, gun violence, anti-police, anti-ICE, anti-National Guards, trained by the CIA. What? After a debacle of 20 years in Afghanistan, where we spent 20 years doing what? So the Taliban can reclaim their power there.
Suspicious
Trillions
intelligence
spent.
community.
2 National Guards shot in the head, all while this foreign national Afghani
Illegal.
yells Allah Akbar as he shoots 2 National Guardsmen in the head on Thanksgiving. If I'm Trump, I'm pissed as hell, and any American should be
Now
pissed
let's
as hell.
do this. Let's do this. Rob, if you don't mind going to 2 interviews of Mayorcas being interviewed, being asked about how many of these guys were vetted, and the way he answered those questions in the most pompous way. This is Josh Hawley's one of them.
Yep.
There's 2 of them. Okay, there's another one as well, Rob. But let's start off with that one first. Go ahead and play this clip. Is this him asking questions about how many of these guys were checked out? Okay, watch this.
Procedure is an in-person interview for refugees or visa applicants. Now, you've testified that you're not doing those interviews.
Not at all.
That they're not happening.
Not at all.
You are correct that we are not conducting in-person full refugee interviews of 100% of the individual.
there
What
you go.
percentage are you conducting?
I don't have that information.
What number have been
What we-
interviewed?
What we are doing.
Wait. What number of the more than 60,000 brought to the country? What number have received an in-person interview before they came to the country?
He's telling you this.
Because you said 100% are screened. So what percentage have been given an actual interview by a trained official before they come to the country?
When you're speaking of a full refugee-like interview, I don't have that data.
By the way, are you following
the head of
what's
Homeland
happening
Security.
to people who've been brought to this country? On September 19th, a female U.S. service member was assaulted by a group of male Afghan evacuees housed at Fort Bliss. September 5th, a report from your office, the DHS, from U.S. officials at intake centers in Wisconsin identified numerous incidents in which Afghan girls have been presented to authorities as the underage wives of much older men. Other reports of assaults and rapes by Afghan men for Afghan girls. These are some of the folks who have been brought here because they haven't been screened, because you haven't conducted interviews. Don't you think that's a problem?
There are two things that can happen.
That's
they
that.
can be.
That's that. Gang, it's Black Friday. Odds are, maybe not our audience, but many people today are lined up to want to buy TVs on sale and all this other things. Here's what I learned a long time ago about Black Friday. I used to do that many, many years ago. And then I realized what I'm trying to do is increase my identity and support brands that match the values that I have. If a brand matches the value that you have, go support that brand. If it's not us, go to them. If it's us, support us. That's what we started doing. When I see local business owners do what they do here, I want to support them. And on Black Friday, there's good debt, there's bad debt. Every year when Black Friday comes, my suggestion, go buy an online course on how to do better in whatever skill set you're trying to learn. If it's business planning, if it's communication, if it's selling, if it's coding, whatever it is, invest into some online courses for yourself. So for us, this year, Black Friday, we're doing a couple different things. Today, 30% discount on 99% of our items on the website. Some are even up to 70% discount, okay? The only items that don't have that is the shoe, because it's selling out every time we put them up. They sell out. So if you go on the site this weekend, you purchase any items, odds are you're getting 30 to 70% discount. And if you go on some of the offers that we have, it's just insane what things we got going on. But there's three special things. For anybody that purchases over $500, there's a mystery box. There's 19 of them left for those that place orders over $500. If you place an order over $500, these mystery box will be shipped to the first 200, 19 left. Number two, you place an order for over $2,000, which many, many people have already. You will get a shot to be in a drawing where we will pull your name. December 2nd is the last day. From today to December 2nd, we draw a name. That person will be flown in. Go to Casa D'Angelo with all of us here. Then we do podcast prep, and then you're sitting right here next to me on the podcast, and we're asking you about stories on Home Team. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order, and Rob, if you don't mind going to some of the hottest items that we have, the one that I was talking about, if you can go back one page. This is the hottest item link that we'll have. Of course, it's the shoes. Those are the online courses. All the online courses, the Vault Conference, any of that stuff that we've had, bundle, instead of $10K, you'll pay $997 for it. The shirt that I'm wearing, go a little bit lower. Those shoes which are selling out. The Stefano Ricci collaboration number ties that we have. The USA hat, go a little bit lower up. The Faith Over Fear shirts that we have. The Yetis that are few left. So this link, Rob, if you don't mind putting it below so people can go and place their orders. The watch collection case that you travel with your 3 watches in there. Just a bunch of great items. But this is it. If you're a wise shopper, this is the day to go to vtmerch.com. Place an order. Get gifts for folks on Christmas Day. That's going to be around the corner. Do your shopping at vtmerch.com.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.